All right, this is the week 3 press conference with Traverse Family head football coach Justin Wilcox prior to Saturday's game here at California Memorial Stadium against San Diego State. We will start with questions here from Jake Curtis of Cal Bears on SI. Go ahead, Jake.
Are you still planning to go with 2 quarterbacks, or what's your thinking on that now?
Fernando will be our starting quarterback. We think Chandler can do some good things to help our team, and as he did last game, having a big first down. Fernando has done a really good job. Obviously, last week, especially in the first half, was incredibly efficient, and I'm still really bullish on that room. I think those guys are good football players and can help us win.
Are you planning to play Chandler, or just only?
Well, Jake, a lot of things happen during games. We planned on Chandler, honestly, going in earlier last week, and then Fernando was 19 to 21 in the first half, so we changed. So, Jake, I understand the question, but this is a dynamic environment we're living in. A lot of things can happen. Fernando did a heck of a job, and we're really glad that Chandler's on our team.
All right, we'll go to Jeff Ferrato from Cal Bears on the side.
Justin, you guys are coming off, I'm sure, an emotional win, a great win for you guys. What do you have to do, or do you have any concerns at all about your team being up and ready to go for the next game?
I don't have that concern. All we got to do is turn on the tape and look at the things that we can get better at, and there's a lot of them. Very proud of how the team competed as a whole. I thought it took every phase, offense, defense, and special teams. A lot of players contributed, and really the competitiveness and how the team played together was apparent last Saturday, and that's a great thing. But there's a lot that we can improve upon, and so really all we have to do is turn on the tape, which we did coming back off that game, and see the areas where we can improve. So I'm not concerned about that. We have a lot of self-aware guys who are motivated to get better.
That competitiveness and that togetherness are the things that convince you'll be okay. And then what are the areas in particular that you need to get better, you think?
Well, there's a lot of them. We've got to go by positions. But I think the first thing, pre-snap, we got to be better pre-snap, especially offensively. In that environment, we had too many pre-snap issues, whether it was snap count, cadence, silent, the snaps themselves. We had a few too many busts there, so we can be much better pre-snap. Even on defense, we had a couple plays where we were not either lined up correctly or missed a motion, and that hurt us. So I think we can be much better pre-snap. And then you go through each position group and find plenty of areas where we can improve. Obviously, the game this past weekend, the turnovers, the takeaways were huge. We protected the ball on offense, didn't give them one, and we took the ball away 5 times. And that and the field position, the two most important critical factors in the game. But there's plenty of room for everybody to get better.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll go to Jim McGill from Bear Insider.
Justin, 5 turnover advantage is huge, obviously, and a couple of them happened at the end of the game where there wasn't really much of a chance to convert the opportunities to points. But are you a little concerned that the field advantage and the possession advantage that you had through the turnovers didn't result in more than 21 points, more than a 7-point margin victory?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. I think we did what we had to do to get the victory, which is great. But yeah, if you take the ball away 5 times, and I think our average starting field position was right around the -40 or -41, we've got to get more points. And we left 6 out there on field goals. We still feel confident in our field goal unit and our kicker, but we got to score more touchdowns. And I think when you look at the tape and we go back and kind of assess what we did well and things that we need to improve upon, there's still more points to be had.
Is there much concern with the snapping? It seemed like the snaps were off a significant portion of the game. And I realize you guys have had to rotate a lot and haven't had consistency at the position, but how does that get addressed?
Yeah, we got to have on-target snaps. It gets addressed with practice and repetition and continuing to work through that pre-practice, during practice, post-practice, as much as we possibly can, so we get on-target snaps.
Also, can you talk a little bit about health? We've got Tobias and Keon and Vadakani and Reese and a bunch of key guys that either haven't played at all or have been really limited. Anybody expected to be back this week, or is it still just one of those play it by ear?
Yeah, Keon and Tobias will be week to week at this point. They will not be playing this week. Siawape, Will McDonald, doubtful for this week. We're hopeful we can get him back next week. David Reese, probable for this week. But, these things are change kind of day to day. It's treatment. It's how they're feeling, how their healing's going. It's between the players and the trainers and the doctors getting cleared, making sure that they're healthy and able to go. And so it kind of changes by the day. But the ones I gave you, that's the most current update on all those guys.
All right, Matt Moreno from Rivals.
Kind of on a similar note, going into the season, did you think you would have the depth to withstand kind of having that many injuries? And how important has it been to have guys like Isaiah? I know you mentioned him as well after the game, but to have some of those guys step up and have that kind of depth to withstand so many injuries.
Yeah, I mean, the injuries have been an issue. It's an unfortunate part of the game. You hear me say that all the time. Having 4 guys down on offense, 4 starters down, and then Jaden not really available for the game. No, it's not ideal, but I'm really proud of the guys that stepped up. I thought, Bastion Swinney can do some things better, but man, his flexibility and his performance in the game is showing improvement, and really proud of him. And Isaiah Hunter, we've talked about him over and over, and he's taken the opportunities that he's gotten and made the most of them. And other guys are doing that as well. So that's what this is all about, and getting guys prepared so when their time comes that they are ready to go and put their best foot forward.
All right, Steve Croner, the USF Chronicle.
Justin, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
You mentioned Jaden. What's his status for this Saturday night? And taking it a step further, look, as great as Jaden has been, you can make a case, say the 5 games in which he played that you won last year. He was maybe, if not the main reason you won, he was certainly one of the main reasons. How satisfying, in a sense, is it to have beaten Auburn at Auburn without Jaden making a major contribution?
I think it just shows kind of shows you what the team's made of. Obviously, Jaden's a fantastic player, very important player to us, but I thought the Jet did an excellent job, had a huge run, had a couple catches, and he just did a really, really nice job. Proud of him. And we were hoping to get Jaden back as soon as possible. He's day to day at this point. I know that he wants to play, and we'll see where he's at, each day this week. And as we lead up to game day, if he's not able to go, then, we'll roll with the guys that are available. And like I keep saying, the guys are making the Jets another great example, guy making the most of his opportunities, and, the guys on the team trust him. So I think that's big, and really proud of him.
Great. Thank you.
All right, back to Jeff Ferrato.
So we talked about this before the season, but now you've taken one of your 4 really long trips you're going to have this year. How do you think the Auburn experience sort of prepared your players for the grind that they're going to have with all the travel? How did that go?
It went great. We practiced on Thursday. We had a really good practice. And then we were looking for military efficiency and how fast we got out of here. So they went in and got the fastest shower they could. We got on the plane and took off as fast as we could so we could get out there. I thought the travel, the hotel, the meetings, the Friday walkthrough, they handled exceptionally well. And it was great for our team. And so we are embracing, these opportunities to go on the road and go to these different venues. And it's a great test for us, and we welcome it. So I'm really proud of the way the team managed that whole weekend. And then it's about coming back as fast as we can, getting our sleep so we can get back at it this week.
You mentioned Javion. He obviously had a really scary incident last year at Oregon, and then we didn't see him for a while, which made sense. How is he a different player, and how do you overcome that? Because that could shake a lot of guys.
Yep. It was a scary moment, no doubt about it. He really came back and was full speed ahead. He's a very tough guy. He's very competitive. He loves playing. I think he loves being important part of the team. And I think he relishes that. So I don't want to speak for him. I can't pretend to know exactly what he was feeling through all of that, but he did a heck of a job coming back and had a great offseason. He's put weight on. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's tough. I mean, he'll stick his face in there against guys that are much bigger than him, whether it's running the ball or in protection. So I really appreciate what he's done and looking forward to him getting more and more opportunities.
If I could ask you real quick about their running back, Marquez Cooper. I think he's the leading active rusher in college football. What do you see when you watch him that makes him so effective?
Well, you said it. I think I got it right here. He's entered the season with 3,856 yards, I think is the number. You know, all conference player multiple times. He's just a really good back. I mean, the guy's super productive. He runs, he catches, he can break tackles, he can make people miss. He's just a very, very good football player all around. And you don't get 4,000 yards, you know, by accident. So he's an excellent player.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Cody Henderson from the league winners.
Hey, Coach. Is there any player that, you know, who maybe didn't fill up the stat sheet on Saturday that when you went back and watched the tape was super impressive to you with how they played?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I thought Craig Woodston, I mean, he had stats, he had tackles, he played well. Ryan McCullough really was impactful at certain moments during the game, which was great. I thought Miles Williams, coming off a game where he didn't tackle real well, had 3 really big tackles. You know, the first play of the game, open field against a talented guy. And then, I mean, we talked about the punter, you know, and the field position. And we actually had opportunities to have 2 more inside the 5-yard line that we didn't capitalize on for one reason or another. But I thought the punter was huge.
All right, back to Matt Moreno.
It feels like there's been quite a bit of buzz, you know, coming off this game, whether it's within the fan base or kind of just in the media. You know, what's it been like for you to be back on campus after a win like that? And how important is it to kind of harness that and capitalize on the buzz you guys are building right now?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, getting a victory down there was huge. We know that they're hard to come by, and especially in an environment like that. So I'm really proud of the team. It should build confidence with our players and our team. It should validate the work they put in. And then, you know, the humility that we all need to have, that we need to get better. And you know, you kind of talk about whatever the buzz and this and that. I mean, we're at practice. Like we're you know, I want the players to learn from every experience and understand that if they work really hard and we go out and perform, that we'll have a chance to play well and win a lot of games. But you know, we can't stay the same. We've got to get better and better throughout the season. And they know that. I know that. And so it's not hard to be motivated come Sunday morning when you come back.
All right, we'll circle back to Jim McGill.
Just a couple plays that were really key that didn't go your way. On the first touchdown for Auburn, where they ruled that the receiver was forced out, and then what could have been a game-ending pick by Noel. Very little contact on either of those plays. Did you get any further explanation about why those calls went those ways?
No, I mean, I asked during the game on the first one, they said he was forced out of bounds. That's what the officials had told me. And then late in the game, they called the PI on Noel. I mean, I don't have any comment on that.
And with Marcus's targeting call where he was ejected, did you get any explanation on that one, why that was ruled targeting? Did they say it was around the neck and head area? It didn't really seem like it.
Yeah, that's what they had told me.
Okay.
All right, back to Jeff Rotto.
Yeah, Justin. So Marcus, does he have to sit out the first half then?
Correct.
Okay. Tell me what you're seeing with the freshman quarterback, Danny O'Neill. He's the first true freshman ever to start their opening game. He was a pretty dynamic player in high school, and he's come on to win the job as a freshman. What are you seeing in him?
Really impressive for a young guy to do that so quickly. He's from the Midwest, if I remember correctly. Really good high school player, really good. And you know, Coach Lewis I don't know how much you guys know about Coach Lewis. He's an excellent coach. I mean, a really good football coach. He has been for a long time. I've known about him for a while. I mean, he's out at Kent State, prolific offensively, very disciplined teams, and he knows what he's doing with that offense and that quarterback. So he's impressive for a young guy like that, and I'm sure every time he touches the field, he gets a little better and better. So we'll need to be really sharp this weekend in every phase of the game against these guys.